All right, United went ahead to obviously beat Leicester City convincingly by 3-0 away at their stadium in there for you. And I was really highly expectant of this. And if at all you watched my video yesterday when I was really revealing to you the news of Andre Onana and the reason as to why Giovanni Kenda never came to Manchester United, I highlighted everything into that video, and I told you the real facts that this is a game for us to win if we are to obviously continue to sit with their pressure and obviously continue with a very huge run. We came into this game of football after drawing at Old Trafford with Arsenal. It was 1-1. Then went ahead to obviously beat the team called Real Sociedad by 4-1. You remember that very well. Bruno Fernandes with 2 goals, and I think with 2 goals, and I think he really had an assist in there. Then he found himself in a position of really putting up a very huge performance here against Leicester City. 2 assists and a goal in there at that juncture, and that went ahead obviously put him into a very respectable position as the captain of Manchester United. Smash the like button close to 100 times, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 21,000 subscribers onto this channel. Now I've come in late, but I think I'm obviously gonna be bringing to you the best of my thought of this game of football. Now, how did this game obviously go on? Now, Rasmus Hojlund in the 28th minute was released by Bruno Fernandes. He ran into the 18-yard box area with the ball, shot with his weakest foot, that is the right foot, and it crossed the goal line, and it was 1-0 for the club of Manchester United. And guess what? That was really a breather for a club like Manchester United, because it was their striker that had taken close to 22 games without scoring a goal, that is Rasmus Hojlund, and he found himself in a position of really scoring a very beautiful goal into that encounter. And I was like, all right, that is really good for him. And Bruno Fernandes, for me, he really released him into the very, very best position of him. And this is what I've always gone ahead obviously complain about as a guy who really knows exactly the potential of Rasmus Hojlund, because if you're Bruno Fernandes, this is the second time you're obviously playing with Rasmus Hojlund. At the beginning, for the last season, we were really we had all our reservances. We were really reserved because of what this guy was all about. He never had a preseason, and it was hard for him to sync well with this side of the Brunos, the Rashfords, the Amadis, and the Amadis, and the Sanchos, name it, the Garnachos. But this time around, there is no excuse, I tell you. There is no excuse. Because if you're to put out an excuse, then it won't be valid. We need to eat that. The first season of Rasmus Hojlund, where he scored 16 goals and only 6 assists were given to him, and the 10 goals he really just poached for them himself. Then you anticipate that Bruno had obviously started to read the runs of Rasmus Hojlund like a book. But this time around, Bruno really released the player, and he was on target. And that was the most important bit of it all, that we needed our number 9 to obviously gate those balls at the back of the net. And he really had an assist in the game we played on Thursday, and now he obviously has a goal in 2 games, 2 goal involvements. That is Rasmus Hojlund for you. And he played his 29th game, I think, of the season, not so of the Premier League season, meaning that we are left with 9 games to go. So with those 9 games to go, I think he's this guy who never stops to score. And you know it well when he obviously commences to score goals. He really doesn't stop. And in that game, Statman Dave told us that Rasmus Hojlund had 3 shots in the first half against Leicester City. He's never had more in the Premier League match. So it was really encouraging for the player that in those 3 shots in the first half, he went ahead obviously register himself a very beautiful goal, and he is now one of those players that we know will obviously put in a very big shift. And he has obviously gone ahead to see to it that he scored his 3rd goal in the Premier League as a player. And so throughout this entire season, Rasmus Hojlund has 8 goals. That is Rasmus Hojlund for you. So He has 2 assists in the UEFA Europa League. So we all know to it that he'll obviously hit double figures into this. And the remaining games, I tell you, he can obviously hit 10 goals in the Premier League. He can, because I know he's now on fire. He's going to be playing for the Danish national team, and his confidence is obviously going to be high in there for you. The other player that came up and obviously scored a very beautiful goal was all about Alejandro Garnacho. 67th minute. He was obviously released by Bruno Fernandes, and he went ahead obviously make it 2-0 for the club of Manchester United. It really took some time. It really took some time for the club of Manchester United to obviously get a comfortable lead of 2-0, because we first scored in the 28th minute and then got the second goal in the 67th minute. And those are how many minutes? Those are close to 49 minutes, you know. But you have to give kudos to the team or the defense of Manchester United that really put in a very beautiful shift in there to see to it that all went on well as planned in there. And in the 90th minute, Bruno Fernandes found himself on target, and he scored a beautiful goal in there for you for the club of Manchester United. And Diego Dallo was the man responsible for that. And I tell you what, Diego Dallo banged in yet another assist. And I think he's really having a very beautiful season if you've been following up onto Diego Dallo. And this is why I've always told you that I don't criticize this team. And I told you until the end of the season, I'm not going to criticize these players, because I know that this team is not into full mode, you know, because all players are really fighting, and you will only see the goodness of every player if at all this team is really performing well. And now, the more confidence we build, the more these players will obviously come up and obviously put in a very beautiful shift. And here, in this game of football, we saw to it that Dallo, in the 98 minutes versus Leicester City, he wasn't beaten in air or dribbled past, you know. He also recorded an assist and a clean sheet. So that is Diego Dallo for you. So he's obviously getting there. And where are these people who are like, Dallo should be sold? He's not a very good player. I've already told you that these players are good, but they're being faced by a problem of the entire team not really looking well. And these performances will help us build confidence. And that is the most important bit of it all, that we need to see to it that our people, you know, our players really get confident. And we went to the international break, and I think for Ruben Amorim, this is not the best time for him. He would have gone ahead obviously calling for what we call an international break. He would love to see to it that this team obviously stays together to obviously continue scoring and really putting in those performances that he's really trying to really lay out. And when you look at what we call the when you look at the tactics will obviously change, and a lot has obviously not go our way, because these players are now going to be inserted in tactics of what we call the national team, you understand. And by the time they return, the manager will obviously have to obviously try to do the needful. But good enough, these players now are trying to obviously dig in, and all I know is that when we obviously get back, when we get up and running as a club of Manchester United, I think we won't be having hard fixtures to obviously go at. Oh, we are playing Nottingham away. That is on the 1st of April. And then 6th of April, we host Man City. Oh my God. 2 tough fixtures. But we pray to it that even more injured players will be back, because if you're going at Nottingham, we need to obviously do the needful. And that is the huge litmus test for the side of Manchester United in there for you. So that is Man United, and that's how we went ahead to put in a very brilliant performance in there, and we won by 3-0. And guys, when was the last time we won by 3-0 in the Premier League? I think we last beat Everton comfortably 4. You understand? I think that was one of the first wins of Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford in the Premier League. You understand? Now, what have been the stats? 11 shots by Leicester. United had 18. 3 shots on target by Leicester. 5 shots on target by Man United. 54% ball possession by Leicester City. 46% ball possession by Man United. 520 passes completed by Leicester. 461 passes completed by Manchester United. 83% passing accuracy by Leicester City. 77% by Manchester United, 6 fouls by both sides, 2 yellow cards to Leicester City. United never got a yellow card. Then we are having 0 red cards to both sides, 4 offsides to Leicester, and 2 offsides to the club of Manchester United. 6 corners to Leicester City and 4 corners to the side of Manchester United. Then when we go to the table, United, we are still in the bottom half of the table, and it's Bournemouth 10th, 44 points. Then Brentford is having 41 points. Crystal Palace is having 39. Man United is having 37 points in there for you. So we still have to fight hard, but I know we'll hit 50 points now, and those are 4 wins in the remaining games. If we get 4 wins and 1 draw, I think if we get 50 points, they're really good, you know. And even if we win those remaining 9 games, I don't think that will obviously hit 60 points, because when we win, we'll be having 64. And can you guarantee that United can win all those games? I tell you, no. So that's good, and I'm really in love with Ruben Amorim, and I've always told you that I've backed this manager. I would want him to obviously keep here and stay here for some long time in there. Let's give him time, because I know that's the problem that United has always gonna hate to face. All we need is the club of Manchester United to obviously come up and obviously do the needful. So let's wait and see how things pan out, and continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Tell me your thoughts about United winning Leicester City comfortably by 3-0. And if you're Manchester United, all you need to do is to beat a team that is really on the bottom of the table. If you cannot beat them, then there is no way you can obviously come up and claim for what you think you are supposed to be getting in there. So Rokan David is my name. First video of the day, and more is yet to come. This is what we do here onto the Rokan onto the United Matters channel, and I'm eagerly waiting for your comments, because I know most of you are really excited, but I've already told you this excitement should be here, but it should really be driven more by these players, and consistency is what we call in for. And that's why I told you that next season I'm really very hopeful, that all optimistic that a lot is obviously going to happen, because through the preseason the manager will obviously build his team very well, and I know we'll obviously come here and compete. I'm out.